Happy New Year, Kev Neal here, doing that thing that I do every year between Christmas and New Year's, where I count down my favorite records of the year. This year had a ton of music, so much in fact, that I almost made this a top 30 list, because usually I only do top 20. But I compromised, and we're doing a top 25. But honestly, it could have been 30. Could have even been more than that. So who knows what we'll do next year. Let's dig in though. My favorite records, new albums, not archive material. No EPs, no live music, unless it's new songs, from 2023. Starting off at number 25. Hey, look, Neil Young, you made it. You did it, Neil. You made my list. Neil's released a lot of records in the past few years, a lot of albums, probably one a year for a number of years now. But this is his best record in a long time, probably because it's mostly old songs. Number 24 is an album that's new to me, and I don't actually own it on vinyl yet. The other problem is I can't see the name of this album because this video is going on Facebook, and that's where my grandma is. And this album title is not safe for grandmas. However, it is, while the album title itself is kind of inappropriate, the songs themselves are fantastic and have some fantastic guitar work. So the album is from the artist Corey Hansen. It's on Drag City. It's his new album from 2023. You'll see the album title and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's why Kevin didn't put it on the list. But it is very good. And hey, here's a record I can say the name of. It's The Record by Boy Genius at 23. Number 22, it's the best album from The National this year. It is their album Laugh Track. Number 21, he's back, King Tuff, with his album Small Town Stardust. I think this is his first record in like 5 years. Number 20 is Slow Dive, Everything is Alive. This is the first shoegaze record on this list, the first of a few, because I think that's really defined a lot of the indie alternative music of this year. Number 19, Kevin Morby, his record More Photographs. If you liked his record from last year, This Is a Photograph, this album is just more of that, hence why it's called More Photographs. 18 is Deeper with their record Careful, kind of a modern post-punk take. Some really cool guitars. It's a theme across my music. But yeah, this is a great album on Sub Pop, who almost always release good stuff. Number 17 is an album that is not available on vinyl because it's 9.5 hours long. It's called One Wayne G from Mac DeMarco, the Canadian songwriter. And the reason it's called One Wayne G is Wayne Gretzky wore 99, and this album has 199 songs. Hey, that's a big commitment. I'm not asking you to listen to 199 songs that are 9.5 hours long. However, I have boiled this down into a playlist that's about an hour long, and it's just the songs on the record with lyrics, because most of it's instrumental, and it is a fantastic collection of songs and some of his strongest work in years. If he had just released that, he'd probably be getting a lot of critical praise, but instead he showed us the full process of being a songwriter, which is also really cool. And if you have the time, I think it's worth listening to all the way through, not in one sitting. But if it's too big a commitment for you, I get it. Just listen to the playlist. Mac DeMarco at number 17, One Wayne G. Hey, look, another Canadian. Here's Andy Shauf with his record Norm. Again, beautiful collection of songs from Andy Shauf. Number 15, we're going back to America with Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit and their album Weathervanes. I saw them tour for this record. I saw them play a show in North Dakota, or technically Minnesota. Anyways, doesn't matter. The songs are fantastic, and they're really good live. If you have the chance, make sure you check them out. Number 14, hey, a new band to me, Video Age, with their album Away from the Castle. This is kind of like a pretty melodic songs with like 80s synthesizer over top of it. So it's kind of cheesy at times, but in a really charming way. I highly recommend this album if that sounds like it would be up your alley. Number 13 is an album called The Window from a band that's also new to me called Ratboys. This is an album that probably should be my top 10. I don't know what I was thinking when I made this list, but this record is fantastic. A lot of diverse songs in terms of styles, but still a cohesive record. Highly, highly, highly recommend that album if you like indie rock. Number 12 is Feeble Little Horse with their album Girl with Fish. Again, sort of shoegazy, like very kind of messed up guitars and then beautiful melodies. Love this record. Next album is number 11. It's Geese with 3D Country. Do you like classic rock? Of course you do. Do you wish classic rock was a little bit more insane? Maybe. So if that's a yes, though, check out this record. It's a great collection of songs with a lot of high energy, a lot of spirit in it. Really like this record. Number 10, you knew it was going to be on here. I Am Who I Am after all. It's Wilco with their record Cousin. Don't need to say anything else. Jeff Tweedy, the most consistent songwriter in the music biz. Number 9, it's Indigo De Souza. With All of This Will End, a beautiful album. Fantastic album, great songs, great production. Number 8, self-titled album, the only self-titled album on this list, from Cutworms. Do you like Twin Peaks, the David Lynch show? If you say yes, then you might like this record, because this record would fit on this show. It's got like a 1950s vibe to it, but weird. And yeah, great collection of songs and a really cool style, and I highly recommend it. Number 7 is Genesis Owusu with his album Struggler. This is as close to hip-hop as I get on this list, because it is hip-hop, but it's also kind of punk. And it's a ton of fun and some great songs, really high energy stuff here. And it's all about like a cockroach trying to take down God, which sounds weird, but when you hear it from Genesis Owusu, you will understand that it's actually really cool, and I don't do it justice when I try to describe it. Hey, number 6 is Hotline TNT with their record Cartwheel. This is an album that came out just last month. Even as I started making this list, this album kept rising, and if we had another month, this might be in the top 5. But as of right now, it's at number 6, and this is the shoegaze record of the year. But it's kind of upbeat too. Yeah, so if that sounds good to you, if you like My Blood Valentine, Slow Dive, that sort of thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just dive into it anyways. You'll like it. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Number 5 is Mitski with her record, The Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. Mitski went country. She's getting a ton of praise for this record. Rightfully so. It is very good, heartbreaking, beautiful, kind of a bummer. Listen responsibly. Number 4 is Buck Meek with his record Haunted Mountain. I haven't heard enough people talk about this record. This record is fantastic. Every song on this album is a 10 out of 10. Especially the title track. That might be a 12 out of 10. And yet no one's talking about that. So this is some homework for you, dear viewer. Let's make this right. You should go around and talk about this record a bunch, and all will be right in the world. I mean, no, things won't be right in the world, but it'll be a little bit better. And that's really all we can do these days. Hey, look! Number 3, Joanna Sternberg, I've Got Me. This is a record I listened to, the first time I was maybe 3 songs in, and I knew, ooh, okay, this is going to be very high on my list of favorite albums from the year. And I was right, because it's a fantastic collection of songs, kind of in that early 2000s indie pop, folk, Moldy Peaches, the movie Juno, that sort of thing. If that sounds great to you, then you will really like this record. Number 2 could have been number 1, and any other year probably would have been number 1. It's the new record from Sufjan Stevens. It's called Javelin, and it is a collection of songs inspired or about his partner who passed away, and it is absolutely heartbreaking when you hear that. But it's not a slow or quiet record. I mean, it does have those moments, but it musically, sonically, it sounds almost like a greatest hits album, because it has all of Sufjan's styles in this record. It's a great introductory, or if you haven't listened to him in a long time, this is a great way to get back into him. I think it's his best record since Illinois, and I really, really, really love this album, but I love this record slightly more. It's my number 1 favorite album of the year. I'm wearing the t-shirt, so you knew it was gonna rank highly. This is Wednesday, their album, Rat Saw God. MJ Lenderman, he's been having a hell of a year. His partner, Carly, she writes the songs. MJ plays guitar. The rest of the band, they're just a group of friends, I think mostly from high school. They're very young. They're 22, 23, and yet they're turning out records that are this good. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting here hanging out with Andy, listening to records. I don't know where I went wrong in life, but don't listen to me. Listen to this record, because it is astonishingly good. Big, fuzzy, loud guitars, but twangy songs. So it's kind of like country shoegaze. But it's really good. If you try to give this record a go and those first two songs aren't really clicking with you, power through. The rest of the album's a little bit more straightforward, and then I think you can circle back and probably enjoy those first two songs. But yes, this is a very, very, very good record. It's my favorite album of the year in a year of really good records. Did I miss anything? Is there anything I should have included? If so, let me know in the comments and I'll tell you why you're wrong. Or maybe you're right, because there was a lot of good records this year. So do that. Listen to these records. Let me know what you think. And I will see you again in 2024.